Hello everybody, SlimKirby here, and welcome to my new Let's Play. I think it's time we start a new series on my channel, and, well, we're going to be taking a look at the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Spyro the Dragon was originally a series that was released on the PlayStation 1. Back then I always kind of saw Spyro and Crash Bandicoot as kind of the quote-unquote mascots for Sony and the PlayStation. Just because, you know, those were kind of the characters I've heard about the most from the PlayStation system when I was younger. However, unlike Crash Bandicoot, which was a series that I did actually play a lot when I was younger, whenever I went over to my neighbors' houses and everything, and they had a PlayStation, Spyro the Dragon was actually a series I did not have any experience with until very recently when I picked up the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. And let me just say, and I am not joking when I say this, I fell in love with these games. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's a 3D platformer. You guys know that I love platformers in general. But there's just something about this particular platformer that just really speaks to me. And I just had a lot of fun playing through these games. And after I enjoyed playing through them so much, I knew that I had to do a Let's Play of them as soon as possible. And that's basically what I'm doing here with the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. So the Reignited Trilogy by itself is, you know, kind of in the same vein as the Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. It's basically kind of a remake of the original 3 games that were on the Sony PlayStation. You know, they've updated the visuals, they have updated some of the gameplay mechanics. They haven't really added too much extra content, but there are some like unique little features here and there to kind of enhance and make gameplay better. Basically, in my opinion, it's a definitive way to play these old games, just because the games absolutely look fantastic. They've obviously improved a lot of the nuances that, you know, a lot of people kind of maybe not really enjoyed as much about the original games. And it's just a great way to experience just kind of the classic gameplay and the classic feel of what these games used to be. I know that's kind of hard for me to say just because I didn't actually grow up or play these games until recently, but still, I kind of get that feeling whenever I've talked to people who have played this trilogy, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I am definitely a fan of Spyro now. I'm not sure when or if I'm going to be able to try out any of the other Spyro games, because I have heard a lot of not so great things about those games, but it is something I could potentially look into at a future date and time. So yeah, I'm going to be playing the original 3 Spyro the Dragon games for you guys, and I'm going to be doing it on the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. So much like I did for the Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy, I'm going to be doing not all of these games at once, but I will be essentially doing them probably within the next year, I imagine. So I'm going to be doing Spyro 1 now. After I finish that, I'll take a few months break and then do Spyro 2. And then I'll do another few months break when I'm done with that, and then I'll do Spyro 3. I think that's the best way to handle these types of projects, just so people don't get burnt out with a certain game or game series. Not that these games are like terribly long anyway, but I'm already kind of doing like the same thing right now with Shovel Knight. And not only that, I still technically have to play through Spyro 3. I've only played through the first 2 games. But I really enjoyed them, and I don't see myself really enjoying the 3rd game any less, to be honest. But I also want to give myself some time to actually play that game as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to do, but let's go ahead and get things started with Spyro the Dragon 1. Let's get going, guys. In the world of dragons.
Okay, rolling.
It's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age, we now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000?
What about this Ganasty Ganok character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Nork is a simple creature.
Simple?
He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom.
No threat?
Besides, he is ugly.
Ugly? That does it!
Huh? Looks like I've got some things to do.
So yeah, that's pretty much the plot of the game. That's it. That's all we really need, I guess. So yeah, the evil creature known as Gnasty Gnorc, or Nasty Nork, whatever you want to call him. He has had it up to here with all of the dragons, so he's turned all the dragons into stone, except Spyro. So now Spyro has to go across the world and rescue all the dragons, and also put an end to Nasty Nork's evil plot here. So for this game, you can move around with the analog stick. I think you can also, you can also use the D-pad as well. I'm playing this on the Switch, by the way. The original Reignited Trilogy came out for PS4 and Xbox in 2018, and then it came to PC and Switch in 2019, and I first played it in 2020, so again, very recently. But yeah, you can move around with the D-pad or the control stick. You can jump with the B button. You can blow burning fire breath with the A button. Y button actually allows you to use a charge-up move, which will be necessary in this game in lots of different places. You can also use the ZR button to also shoot fire, and you can also you can use the L and R buttons to do kind of like a little roll, like a dodge roll of sorts, which can be pretty helpful. Not exactly sure what ZL does. I think it just like moves the camera, so it's like directly behind you. X button gives you kind of a first-person view perspective, and you can also move the camera around with the other directional stick, the camera stick as it's often called. The plus button, start button, whatever you want to call it, gives you kind of a little menu here, which I'll go over the menu as we go throughout the game. And the select button kind of gives you, I think this is actually, yeah, the select button is just like a shortcut to the guidebook. So yeah, that's basically how you play the game. So let's see, we have some enemies down here. We'll go ahead and destroy them. We can destroy them in a number of ways. We can obviously use our fire breath, but we can also charge at them as well. Yeah, there we go. I will admit, you know, the controls can be a little, I don't want to say tough to get like used to, but it can be kind of tricky, especially if you've never, you know, played a Spyro game before, if you've played like lots of other 3D platformers. But it's kind of one of those games where after you play a bit of it, you get really familiar with it after a while, and it's really not too bad. So just kind of, you know, just ease into it, I guess is the best way to say it. So as you can see, we're going around collecting these gems. Gems will be very important, especially if you want to go for 100%. Basically, each area has a certain number of gems. You can find gems laying on the ground, but you can also find gems through destroying enemies as well. So whenever you see an enemy, make sure you destroy them, because they could have a gem for you. But gems are not the only things we're collecting. We have to rescue all of the dragons that have been turned into stone. So let's go ahead and do that. You don't have to actually like attack the stone or anything. You just have to go up to it and you'll free them. That's simple.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world, then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
So yeah, those are the basic two collectibles. There is another collectible we'll be getting a little bit later, but for now, these are the main two that we'll be seeing pretty much in every area. And if we go to the guidebook, you can kind of see how far or how close you are to basically getting everything in each area. So here we're in the artisan home world here. We have 33 of the 100 gems, and there's 4 dragons we have to rescue. So we have to basically just keep looking for the rest of them. So let's keep on doing that. Obviously, gonna still try to destroy enemies whenever we can. Whenever you see treasure chests, you can blow your fire breath at them. But there are different kinds of treasure chests as well. And you'll have to open certain treasure chests in certain ways. And again, we'll get into that a bit later, and as we, in general go throughout the game. There was also another treasure chest here that was kind of like, looked like a purple clam of sorts. Those will usually give you extra lives. So if you need an extra life, open those treasure chests, and that's pretty much what you have to do. So in addition to being able to jump, Spyro can also glide. And there we go. So yeah, you can glide and get to areas that may be a little too far away for you to jump to, or too high to jump to, but if you go to a certain elevation and then, jump from there, you might be able to make it. And as you can see, we also got a skill point there, which if you've watched the Ratchet and Clank playthrough I did, skill points were also in that game, which they basically are little challenges you can try to get as you go throughout the game. Some of them you'll do like automatically without realizing, but some other ones you'll have to go a little above and beyond in order to unlock. You can actually see a list of all the skill points if you go to your guidebook and press the X button. So you'll see all the skill points in the game and where you can get them. From my understanding, the skill points didn't actually exist in the original Spyro the Dragon, but they did exist in like the sequel games. So it was kind of something they started doing in Spyro 2. But since Spyro 1 didn't have any, the developers of this, Toys for Bob, decided, you know what, let's give the original game some skill points too. So that's basically why they're here. So let's go ahead and rescue the next Elder Dragon here.
Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him!
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing?
His
name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him, and see what I mean.
Okay, Bowser, whatever you say. His voice just kind of has that Scott Burns quality from some of the other Mario games, which is why I called him Bowser there. So yeah, he kind of talked about our health system in this game. As you can see, there is a dragonfly following Spyro here. It is a yellow color. Basically, as you take damage, the dragonfly will turn a different color. So the yellow stage means you have basically 3 hits. The blue dragonfly means you have 2 hits. The green dragonfly means you only have 1 hit. And if you have no dragonfly, you'll actually die. And you can actually restore your dragonfly's power. You'll find some enemies in some of the areas in this game. They're a lot smaller than normal enemies. They're actually sheep in this particular world. I saw some earlier. I'm not seeing them now. Oh, wait, there they are. But basically, if you torch them or charge into them, you'll release a butterfly, and Sparks actually consumes that butterfly to get stronger. So that's basically how the health system in this game works. Also, these little gates, these are gates to worlds inside the main home world here. So there's one right there, Stone Hill. There's another one over here, which is Dark Hollow. I'm going to enter all of these worlds, obviously, but before I do, I want to make sure I clear all the areas of the different collectibles we're looking for. So yeah, these normal-looking treasure chests, you can charge into them, you can shoot fire at them. Doesn't matter, but like I said before, there will be other types of treasure chests as we go throughout the game. This is the balloonist, as one of the dragons explained. We'll be going to him once we've completely cleared out this area, so we don't need to actually talk with him yet, because we don't even have enough to even get to the next area yet. So we're just going to keep on going and trying to find other things to do here. And we got a lot of collectibles in this section, so we'll go ahead and grab those. Got another dragon we need to rescue as well. We got Argus from Link to the Past.
Cool flash. Do that again.
The artisan's boss is through a portal in the dragon mouth. But you're not yet ready, Spyro. First, you must complete one of the other artisan lands.
So yeah, basically every homeworld has a boss of sorts, or a boss level of sorts. We obviously can't access this one yet because we need to beat one of the other worlds first, but that's basically what's inside there. So we'll be coming back here a bit later. So I think we have like one more section to explore, and that's this section over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, another dragon? Okay. Cool mas.
Hey, Spyro! Press the jump button twice to glide. And don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks? Plummeting into prehistoric glaciers?
Oh, that.
I love that cutscene. But yeah, one thing I do want to call attention to before it gets too far into the game. In the original Spyro the Dragon, like, all of the Elder Dragons in that game were all just, like, very generic designs. They were just, like, you know, big dragons with different colors. One thing I really appreciate about this game is they actually gave, like, all the dragons in this game, like, unique looks. They actually gave them, like, different types of traits and stuff as well. It's really, really awesome, like, all the detail they put into this game with just even the dragons, who are, you know, they're just, like, very simple cutscenes. Some of the cutscenes are as simple as, hey, thank you for rescuing me, and that's about it, the cutscene's over, but still, they put a lot of work into just designing each one of those dragons and giving them, like, unique traits and everything, and I really applaud the developers for doing that. That's just a lot of attention to really great detail that I feel like, you know, some developers probably wouldn't even, you know, be bothered with that amount of detail. So it's really cool to see that, you know, from just a game developer in general. We're about done with actually clearing out this area. We just have to get one more gem, it looks like, and it's probably going to be here. Indeed it is. Got all the 100 gems. We've rescued all the Elder Dragons. We have 100%ed the main Artisan homeworld here, so we are pretty much done with that. I'm probably not going to go into any actual worlds in this video, but I will spend the rest of this video kind of talking about some other things you can do, like other controls. So whenever you rescue an Elder Dragon, you'll have this portal here with a fairy. This fairy will actually give you a bit of a checkpoint of sorts, so if you happen to take a death or something, you'll actually warp back to this point. And it's important to actually visit these as often as you can, because it'll actually kind of save your progress. And when I say save your progress, it means basically all the enemies you've destroyed since you got that checkpoint, or before you got that checkpoint, will actually, like, stay dead, for lack of a better term. So you don't have to worry about dealing with those enemies later if you have to revisit, like, certain rooms. So definitely try to save your progress often. Once you collect a gem from an enemy, you've gotten that gem no matter what. So you don't have to worry about that, but still, just to kind of get rid of certain enemies and stuff, it's definitely important to visit those checkpoints as often as you can. And also, you can actually, if you... oh, I didn't want to burn you, sorry. If you talk to this fairy, you can actually replay the dragon cutscene. So if there was something that the dragon said that you just barely didn't comprehend, you can replay the cutscene if you need to, which is also pretty helpful. So yeah, going back to the pause menu, as far as the guidebook is concerned, I kind of showed this off where you can, it's almost like the game totals screen in Banjo-Kazooie, which basically tells you, like, how much progress you have done in each of the worlds. It'll also list all the different sub-worlds if you've entered them, and then also give the progress for those worlds as well, which is kind of nice. And as we unlock other worlds, we can, you know, basically scroll through all the different worlds in the game. And of course, you can also look at the very top and see just kind of your general overall progress for the game. Like, we have 2% of the game completed. We have 100 of the 12,000 gems we'll be finding in this game. And it also shows, like, your lives, dragon eggs, and also just the number of Elder Dragons you have saved overall. The options, just your basic, you know, control options, sound options, stuff of that nature, how you want the camera to act, language select. You can also turn the map on and off and the subtitles on and off if you want. That's basically all there is to do here, and that's honestly about it. Honestly, there's not really a whole lot to really discuss here. There are, of course, other things that we'll definitely see as we go throughout the game, but I think I'm actually going to go ahead and end this video here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Like I said, Spyro the Dragon is a game that, you know, I had no experience with until this year, and honestly, playing through this series this year has honestly been pretty much a highlight for me, because I got to essentially fall in love with a new series, and I've had a lot of fun playing this, and this is why I wanted to get around to these Let's Plays as soon as possible, because I just enjoyed playing them through so much, and I wanted to play through them again, so I'm like, well, let me just go ahead and start working on the Let's Plays for these games, and that's pretty much what I'm doing here, so I hope you guys enjoy watching these Let's Plays as much as I've enjoyed playing through these amazing games, because seriously, like, you know, this has been a wild and crazy year so far. The year 2020 has been, in some respects, an absolute nightmare in a lot of different ways, but this is a series that has honestly kind of, you know, helped me through a lot of these tough times, and I wanted to show my appreciation to not only the game, but also, you know, to other video game players out there who are looking for kind of like a new game to try out, and honestly, this is a game I would personally recommend. I've had a lot of fun playing this. It's been a blast to just play and experience this game, and, you know, sometimes gaming, you know, it can do a lot more than you'd think. It's not just a distraction, it's an art form, and, you know, this is an art form that's really helped me through what's been, honestly, a very, very tough time. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and recommend that if you're looking for a 3D platformer of some sort to play, definitely check out the Reignited Trilogy. I think it's a great deal. 3 full-length PlayStation games, essentially, remade to look just absolutely amazing, and it's not even a full-priced game either. Like, it's only about $40 when, like, the common retail price is about $60. So it's a great value, it's a great deal, and definitely something I would recommend looking into if you're looking for something to play. So yeah, this has been SlimKirby. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next time when we start looking at some of these different artisan worlds. See you guys then. Later, folks.